Hi, I'm with Jasmin Fee, and today we're going to talk about her FMP and her final year and all about the fashion media degree that she's just completed. So, can you just summarize your FMP for me?
Mine was called Slow Mortals, and it was basically a publication that was it wasn't really fashion based, it was actually based on kind of humanity and activism. So mine was primarily poverty based because it was something that was really prevalent in today's issues of the world. So I made 2 podcasts, a documentary, 3 zines, a website, and I mocked up an app, all kind of based around that, really. So I talked about period poverty, fuel poverty, and food poverty predominantly. So the documentary was based in a food bank, and then I did 2 interviews through my podcasts with a woman who was she runs a charity for period poverty. And then I did another one with a friend who had struggled a lot with food poverty.
Okay, so do you think for the future, definitely like some sort of humanitarian or what's the word, activist job is something you'd really like to go into?
Well, I really wanted to go down the journalism avenue. Writing is really my strong suit. I could honestly type out for days. So because I had kind of explored a lot of stuff through travel, like from travel, fashion through carbon, I'd kind of thought I want to go down a different avenue for my FMP and kind of look into something else that kind of stood out a bit.
Yeah. What did you sort of enjoy most in your final year then? Was it sort of completing the FMP? Was it doing the research, or was it like non-academic? Was it just something that happened personally?
I mean, I would say 2 things that happened in 3rd year. I moved into a house with a lot of friends, and it was probably the best experience of my life. Especially after COVID, I'd spent my 2nd year really in student accommodation. I didn't go home. So and for a lot of that, we were in lockdown, so it was like a bit it was really isolating. But after that, yeah. But actually, my favorite part of final year was in 1st semester. We all had to make magazines of our own, and I made a travel magazine called Day, and it was basically based around fashion cities and kind of exploring the more ignored kind of parts of the city. And I really enjoyed that. I loved being able to kind of explore travel. I did a fashion course, and I honestly did hardly any fashion on it, I'm not gonna lie.
But you said you liked the journalism, so would you say you were more into the writing definitely than the design? Did you struggle with design? Did you like design? What?
Really struggled with design, I'm not gonna lie.
Nice.
I was like, Rachel just knew that I struggled with design. So when it came to actually creating my own magazine, I went for a very, very minimalist kind of, a little bit inspired by Vogue, but even less. And I really had to put in the time and effort to kind of search for inspiration. On Pinterest, on my Pinterest boards were filled with just magazine layouts of what I wanted to try and achieve.
So going off that then, what's one sort of piece of advice you'd give to someone starting their FMP now? Would you say, it doesn't have to be fashion based, sort of broaden the horizons, or any other advice, like maybe time management?
I think, and I'm a bit of a hypocrite for saying this, but I actually think going down the fashion avenue is a bit of a better one, mainly because when, at least this was my experience, so when we went back and we did kind of the final year show, mine was not very interesting to a lot of people there because it wasn't fashion related. But it was something that I was really passionate about. The topics were something that I found myself happy to write about. I will say it's a lot harder, I think, to follow through with something that's not fashion related. struggled a lot with getting interviews, and Rachel had to help me with the location for the documentary. She contacted a friend, and that was amazing. But it was kind of one of them things where it's like, I wish I had have been able to do that on my own without requiring the help, because it really set me back that I was trying to do it on my own. And in the timeline, I was pushing everything closer and closer to the deadline for a final piece. So if I could go back, maybe I wouldn't have chosen the topic that I did. I might have gone down a different avenue, but ultimately I am quite proud of my final product. So it's really just finding like something that you think you can achieve in the time that you like can do it in. And one advice I would really, really emphasize, and Rachel really does push you to, like, I think maybe my course was just a little bit kind of not ignorant, but kind of we were all like, oh, we've got time to do all this. And you really underestimate how little time that you have to get such a big project done. It really does kind of like, the pressure is there. That's what I can say. Don't overextend yourself for something that you think you might be able to do.
Would you say is sort of the biggest challenge you faced? And how did you overcome that?
So time management was really, I think, a big thing for a lot of people in my year of the course. We're notoriously bad for time management. And I was kind of someone who really, every time I started a new semester, I really tried to start off strong. And I would have like notebooks filled with like notes from Rachel. I would like dedicate like every day a certain amount of time to like a certain module, and then kind of uni life would happen, and I'd have a night out which would require a recovery day, which would then like lead to me falling behind, and then my friends would be like, oh, we need to go like see this movie. And then in third year I actually got like a job, and I started working part-time alongside uni. So I was balancing a lot of things on a lot of different, and basically time management just got completely thrown out the window. And I saw kind of like, I suppose, myself running out of time as I had in first year and second year. And while I do not condone it, I was actually okay at kind of doing work last minute, and it was stressful though. It was like a week straight of me just not sleeping and doing all the work in a deadline, and it was just like horrible. I do not condone it, and I would say to anyone who tries to achieve that, do not try. It is not worth it. And you can definitely do better work if you're consistent rather than if you shoot it all out at the end. And now I've graduated and I've seen the end of university, time management is something that I'm still really bad for. But I try. Like, you know, I'm trying.
Yeah. Try your best. I guess you sort of just get used to it and like learn it. It's like another skill, isn't it? You've graduated then. What's sort of your plan next, or is that a bit scary?
I'm currently living back with my dad at home. I live up in Newcastle, so and I swore up and down I would never come home. Like I was like, after graduation, I'm moving straight to London, like, or whatever city I get a job in. And I did actually get a job offer for a marketing job, and I was on like literally until last week, I was about to take it and I was about to move to Manchester and kind of like jump into this world of marketing. And then I kind of had a bit of an epiphany and I was like, I really don't want to do marketing. Like
it's just not right. Sometimes it's just not right, is it?
I like a lot of people on my course on my course who were on my course wanted to go into marketing, and I think one or two of them have already got jobs in like a fashion company, working in their marketing team, which is amazing. But it just wasn't. I was like, I'm just not about marketing. Marketing and sales just doesn't interest me. And while I'm kind of someone who's like, you should have a job, I'm kind of also like, I don't want to have a job that makes me miserable.
Yeah, so, yeah, definitely.
Especially because I'm like, we graduated last month, like literally, I think in it might have been exactly a month ago today that my ceremony was. And it was really something where like I was like, I graduated less than a month ago. I like if I don't have a job now, it's not the end of the world. I recently looked into, and it might be maybe not, I don't know, but it's a like virtual assistant job, and it's kind of where you're self-employed and you just kind of do a bit of freelance work here and there with different companies, and you get to just kind of go about your business and choose your own kind of path of what you want to really like go down. So I'm hoping it works out in my favor.
So this is another big question, so take your time, but how have you sort of developed, not just in your skills, but also kind of as a person since first year, and what do you think had like the most effect on that, if that makes sense?
That is a big question. I think university wise, I would say on a personal level, like I actually did a thing, like me and my friends in my house, we looked over photos of like kind of the start of each year, like from first like fresher to like the end of third year, and it was really mad how much we all changed. Just like even in appearance, I had gone through like 5 different hair colors in uni. Like I had purple hair, blue hair, I was blonde. But yeah, I think like appearance wise, you just see yourself mature a lot, like, and you just kind of go through the motions of going for. I went from 18 to 21. Some people went to uni later, obviously, but I was fresh out of sixth form. I I had never like left the northeast, and I moved 350 miles from home. And I think you really just see people thrive